So the topic that we have for today is cars. So
Car.
yeah,
Okay.
are you into various brands and learning what is the name and what is the engine? Are you into that kind of stuff?
No, I know some of the brands and
Mhm.
some varieties of cars, but I'm not into engines, etc. in
Uh-huh.
details.
I am. I, if you ask me, I'm completely unaware. Like I barely know the name of my own vehicle, let alone the names of other cars. But have you had that fascination? Some people have a dream car. So do you have a dream car?
Not exactly a dream car, but I have a fascination for a car that is Ford company. That is one EcoSport.
Ah.
So what happened that I have a car. It's a small one, Eon.
Mhm. Ah.
So whenever I see this car, I always think that if I wish I had a car like that. Uh, the main reason that I want to go for a long drive, and for a long drive, the small car is not good. If I had that car, so I could have gone anywhere to visit my relatives also. I felt like that always. But one more thing, if I have the capability to buy someday,
Mhm.
but the thing is that I don't have the space to park that car in my house. So
Ah.
I don't have much space. Even the small car that I have, that is also very difficult to place. Somehow I just managing it. That's why.
Well, you can always redo your parking. Just one small correction, Subhash. So
Yeah,
you said I felt like that always. So,
yeah.
while you're structuring that sentence, it'll come sound something like I always feel that way or
I
always feel like.
always feel that way. Okay.
Yeah. So always would come before your, the main subject of your sentence would come.
Okay.
All right. So,
All right.
okay, just the slight restructuring of that sentence. But my grandparents had that same problem about the garage. So they have an inbuilt garage inside their house, which is something that is so amazing to people like me who lived in Mumbai because we've been parking our cars on the road since always. But they have like a garage inside their house, and that was a little small for the car that they were going for. So they actually got the boundary wall reconstructed for the car. And but now it looks really fancy because it looks like it just fits the car. It's like it's made for the car now.
So you drive a car? Your car? You drive your car?
No, no. I have never learned how to drive. The only thing I know how to ride is a bicycle, and that too I fall a lot. So I've not tried my hand at anything else.
Not even scooty?
No, and I actually, I feel like if I try, then I'll directly try a car because I feel like I'll fall a lot if I ride a scooty. I'm
Okay.
very
So
skeptical
it is
about
difficult to ride two-wheeler. You need to learn. It takes time also. But for
it.
car, it is not very difficult. So you don't have any desire to learn now. You don't.
I do. I do wish to learn. It's just I actually have not stepped out of my house only, and I haven't had the need to leave my house a lot during these, last 2 years at least. So because of that, maybe, but mostly because I am really scared that I might hurt the car, and if I learn how to ride a scooty, I might hurt myself. Hence, I'm postponing it as much as I can. But it's a need. I think I should learn it. When
Yeah.
did you
I
learn how to drive a car?
I love to drive. If it is for long drive, I like.
Hmm.
Yeah.
You like driving? That's
Yes.
lovely. I like going for drives. I don't want to drive. Somebody else can drive. I just want to sit and listen to music.
You know, when I bought my car at my later age. Okay, so when
Mhm.
I was young, I had a desire, but I did not have the capacity to buy one. So I always, as you said, that dream car. Okay, so I don't have a dream car as such, but I always dreamed that I was driving a car. Sometimes because the desire had in me, so I used to dream, oh, I am driving a car. But when I woke up, oh, there is no car. Oh my
Wow. I haven't had the desire to do it, but I do understand that sort of, you imagine your future life and you're like, I'll have a car and I'll have a house and I'll drive.
Yeah, why not? You see, you are the daughter of an army officer. I think I mean, as we know that how their lifestyle is, so they will go to the market with a car. I can driving a dashing car like that.
But for the longest time, we never, like, whenever I was in a car, it was an army gypsy. Because, we never went shopping a lot because my dad was very busy. So, whenever we were traveling, even if my dad had to come anywhere, it was directly from his office. So, he was in the uniform. So, mostly he was in the gypsy. So, actually, the car I've always traveled in is that normal. You have seen that green colored gypsy?
Yeah, olive green.
There is a tire behind, yes. That's the one I've ridden in all my life. But I love that vehicle. I think if you want, if you are, if I had a dream car, that would be the car to drive that
Yeah.
only.
So you're the only child of your parent.
No, I have a sister.
You have a sister. What she's doing?
So she's preparing for CLAT right now. She is in her 12th standard.
So cat.
CLAT, the law exam.
Oh, okay, okay.
All right. So coming back to cars, tell me this: when did you learn to drive? At what age did you learn to drive?
48 or 50 maybe. Yeah,
Well, that's
I
very
forgot.
interesting. So it wasn't very early in your life, right?
No,
You
no.
learned
Just
it.
I told you, no. I had a Deja,
Mhm.
but I did not have a car. So
Wow.
I used to I used to drive a car only in my dreams.
So you learned how to drive after you purchased a vehicle?
Yes, yes, right.
Oh, interesting. So in your brand new car, you learned how to drive. You would be so scared. What if you hit something?
No, what happens after purchasing the car, I joined a driving lesson school. Okay, so after 2 or 3 days, I went with them. So how they give you training? It is like that. They will take 4 persons together,
Oh.
all those who want to learn. So
Hmm.
in a vehicle, the vehicle is also very old. So hardly you will get a chance to drive 5 to 10 minutes in a day.
Oh.
That after going few kilometers, they will in a rotation basis. Another person will come in the
Wow.
driving seat. He will drive, and the remaining part I will have to sit back only. I nothing to
Oh.
do. So this was very boring for me. So one day what I did after 3 4 class, I one day I took out my car in the morning.
Hmm.
Morning means wee hours. Wee hours is right.
In the very early hours, right? Yeah.
Yeah. So there was no traffic as usual at that time. So I used to drive alone. And after a few days, I got some confidence. And one day I took the car and came on the road.
Mm.
And one day, what happened? I drove in a very busy on a very busy road. It was very busy and full of traffic. So when I drove in on that road, then I got the confidence. Yeah, now I can drive and I can go. That's how I learned.
Wow, that's quite an experience. I mean,
Yeah.
so you went to a driving school, but you didn't like the method that they used,
No,
the
no, no.
rotation
I
method.
paid around 2,500, but I went there only 3 days. It was 1 month class.
My God. Okay. Wow. I never, my dad taught my mom how to drive. So by that time, I was a little old, so I saw my mom learn how to drive. So around, I think, 12, 13 years ago, she learned how to drive. So around that time, my dad was teaching her, so I could see that it took a lot of time for her to understand everything. So I can only imagine how you taught all of that to yourself. Because for you it was a self-learning experience. So how was that? How did you realize all the traffic rules and all of that?
Yeah, if you ask me, actually, I don't have many ideas about this traffic rule, because I did not get my driving license in a proper manner. Now
Ah.
let me tell you what happens. Earlier, now it doesn't happen. Earlier, when I bought one two-wheeler, so at the
Mhm.
time I needed one license. So I paid
Yeah.
one broker to get a license for me. So he arranged a license for me for learners. So
Mm.
then after 1 month or something, I think, after then he gave me the main driving license. So I
Without any
completed.
test.
Yes, at that time we could do this. We just pay the money and you will get the license. So I got my license in that way. So I don't have the theory parts, that the what are the signs and what signs, what you were supposed to do. There are so many things. Now I know that when you go to the DTO office, they will give a book to you. So you have
Yeah.
to go through the books, and there will be a theory class. After passing the theory class, they will arrange for a test. And it is very difficult nowadays to pass the test. There are so many friends
Yeah.
of mine that went to DTO office, they could not complete in one go, at one go. They had to go two, three tests. Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
so now it is very difficult to get a license. So and that's why I don't have much idea about that. But gradually I learned it now.
It's interesting. It's very interesting. You know, guys, when my mom, you're right, because when my mom went to give the exam, she had to appear for it thrice. And the third time, she was so scared because she was like, if I fail again, because we were about
Yes.
to leave from that station, no? So in different states, there are certain rules that are new. Like it is possible that, like let's say Maharashtra, in Maharashtra, you get a parking ticket after 5 minutes. So if you have
Okay.
kept a vehicle on the road,
Hmm.
for more than 5 minutes, then you get a parking ticket. But in other states, it can be different also. So she was so scared. She was like, if I go to a different state, then I have to learn all the rules again. But fine, thank God she passed it in the third go. She's like, I'll give it up. If I don't pass now, I'll give it up. So it has gotten difficult. And maybe I wonder how many attempts would it take from me when I do give my driver's test. Already a dreaded memory.
I will learn. You will try. You will get to know very soon.
I hope so. All right, Subhas, so tell me this. I wanted to know, did you read the stories that I suggested to
Yeah,
you?
yeah. I read one story. You told me about that one lihaf, that is quilt.
Yes, the quilt that
Yeah,
you
yeah.
write.
I read. Yeah, and I learned some word and phrases also from that story,
I'm so
like
happy.
waste away and tuck away, like those phrases.
I'm
So
so
it was
happy.
basically a symbolic one. I think that in a quill that she used to see like one elephant. That was the that king or something, no? Married one girl and then tucked her away. It is kept somewhere else alone. He did not visit later to her.
Yes. So basically, the quilt, the things that she sees in the shadow of the quilt, right? When she's
Hmm.
sleeping, that aunt of hers, it's discovering the entire thing about homosexuality. So
Yes,
the
yes.
uncle that the aunt was married to, he's also shown. So it's not. She doesn't tell us. The author doesn't tell it whether it is actually a relationship or if it's something that a child has misunderstood, because the entire story, as you saw, it was from a child's perspective, right? It was from the little girl's perspective, the one who was left with her aunt. So that is what I like about that story. You
So
know,
what I felt actually, what I felt is that since she was left alone
yeah.
after the marriage, he did not visit much. So she had an urge, the biological should be there. It is
Mhm.
natural. So that's why it happened. I thought like that.
Same. I think that is what the author is trying to bring out. Basically, she is highlighting how the society puts two people together, but sometimes it's difficult for the two people to, be the happiness that a person needs in life. So yeah, that is a concept that she's exploring for sure.
But nowadays it is very common. But during those days, that is portrayed between
Yeah.
two women. It was very unheard of during those
It
days.
was. It was. I mean, the courtship between, that is why the entire story and the lihaf as a this thing, because the Urdu title is lihaf, which can
Yes,
mean both
yes.
things. Lihaf as in something that you're hiding, but also lihaf as in the quilt that you sleep in. So there's this Bollywood song that's coming to my mind. Have you heard it? Itni sardi hai kisi ka lihaf le le.
I exactly don't remember.
It's a item number, very old song. It's basically in that song, the lihaf is a quilt, but lihaf could
Lihap
also,
lele ni. It was like something rajai or something.
yeah, it's the rizai. The rizai is called a lihaf in Urdu.
There is a song like this item song,
Yeah,
like that.
it's the name of the song is Bidi Jalaile.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
It's
in
not,
that song there's.
they did not use the word lihap. That is rajai
Have they used Rizai?
in that
Maybe
song.
they have. I don't know. I'm not sure now. But yeah, I remember that I had heard that song as a kid, because I was very young when it had come out. So this reminds me of that song. But yes, the story is lovely. So I love how you're trying to understand what the author wants to say, because Ismat Chugtai is somebody who is like this. She explores very different forms of storytelling. But for me, what's more interesting is the translation of the text. Because the Urdu text sounds very different, the tone is different, and then it is translated in English. If you've read if you read Assami literature, you can try reading the translated form in English also. You'll be able to see it from a different perspective. Sometimes it helps. I do have. I thought I'll give you more stories because you're reading these days.
Hmm.
This time I have a play for you actually. So you've been reading short stories. I want you to try reading a play. Okay. So it's a very famous American playwright.
Okay.
It's Tennessee Williams, and one of my favorite plays that he's written is uh, "The Cat on a Hot Tin Roof." It basically talks about a female, and it's basically a story about marriage between two people and how you have to lie to be alive in society. So it's very similar to the concept of Ismat Chuktai's story. So I thought I'll
Okay.
suggest it to you. Another
Okay.
thing, actually, Subhas, I wanted to share with you was this is something that I recently learned, and I was like, this is so cool. So, I had one of these people, and she was talking to me in English, and she was a very good English speaker.
Hmm.
And she said some wrong sentence, like an incorrect sentence. And
Okay.
immediately after saying that, she went like, let me rephrase that for you. And then she restructured her own sentence. And
Okay.
I found that to be so cool. That entire phrase, let me rephrase that. I'm going to write it for you. Let me rephrase that for you. So I found this to be really handy. If you're talking to somebody and if you're in a flow and accidentally you say something wrong or you want to change a part of your sentence, you can quickly add this. Let me
Okay.
rephrase that for you.
Yeah. Let me rephrase for you. Yeah, that's cool.
It's interesting. I've been using it so often, like even when I don't need to, because I find it to be so cool. And like, let me rephrase that for you. It's fun. So you can also try using it. All right. So as we spoke in the beginning, this is your 106th session with Clapingo, right?
Okay. I don't remember. I don't see also.
This
I
is
know
fun.
that I have crossed 100. That's I know.
So how does it feel right now? Do you feel a difference? And if you do, what issues do you currently face right now with your English after these many sessions?
Yeah. The only thing is that I find it difficult to describe. Suppose you give me a topic, and normal conversation I can do. But when you
Mhm.
give me a topic, I find it difficult to describe it. Maybe this is because of lack of knowledge, maybe.
Mhm.
And one thing is that I cannot go with the flow. I just like this. I There is something that
There is
I have to correct myself.
there's some hesitation. See, when you talk to me, I've very, very rarely seen you fumble. So that's
Yeah,
there.
today I think I have talked. Uh, okay,
He
okay.
was very fluent, actually. I was thinking, I couldn't even pinpoint a lot of mistakes, which was very nice. One word that you can use more than other than describe is elaborate. I feel difficulty
Elaborate. Yes, yeah.
when I try to
Elaborate.
elaborate upon topics, and it could be due to the lack of knowledge. It could also be because your way of structuring sentences, I'll tell you, Subhas, is very direct, which is amazing because it's very difficult to make direct sentences. So you don't spend a lot of time sort of building a story. You say what you want to say. Hence, your
Okay.
conversations are very interesting. So I don't want you to be bothered by that a lot because it's that's how your brain works. It's a very simplistic thought process you have. I mean, no, I don't mean to demean it. It's just you have a very straightforward way of thinking. So maybe that's why the elaboration part is a little difficult for you. What you can do when you want to elaborate upon a topic is you can look at it from another person's perspective. Let's say Subhas walks up to me and he asks me, "Why are you holding this blue pen?" And I have to elaborate upon it, right? Why am I holding a blue pen? So I can look at it from a person who's watching at a distance, in the sense that why could I be holding a pen? Why would I have bought the pen? So that will give you more things to talk about. So
Okay.
let's say somebody suddenly asks you about something, you can always go to why I bought it, why do I need it, how much did I buy it for, and why did I want to buy it in the first place? What help is it to me? So putting up different questions to you can help you, let's say build a long conversation with that person.
Okay. I will try.
Yeah, I know. I personally am a huge fan of elaborating things. Sorry, you were saying something. You were saying something?
No, no. I am just telling that there are few tutors. When I talk to them, I just talk normal conversation, just simple. Don't talk about it. But when it comes to you, I always try to learn something and talk about topics or that you give me stories also. So there are different ways of talking to different tutors.
Yeah, that's something even I enjoy. I go and I watch Clapingo sessions because I learn so much from other tutors. They have such unique ways of teaching. I very much enjoy it.
Now you are also a very good tutor. So we also enjoy.